Have you ever felt the creeping chill of a world lost to its own shadows? When chaos reigns and integrity becomes a forgotten relic, there is an ancient echo, a voice from the deluge, revealing how one soul stood firm, building an unshakable life against the rising tide, discovered the forgotten wisdom that transcends time. In the quiet depths of antiquity, a whisper emerged from an age consumed by its own unraveling. The human heart, once a sanctuary for noble aspirations, had become a crucible of chaos, its desires continually twisted, its reflections perpetually shadowed. A moral darkness, denser than any physical night, had settled upon the earth, not from external forces, but from the insidious decay within. Violence was the common tongue, corruption an invisible poison seeping into the very sinews of society, binding humanity in a shared embrace of despair. It was an epoch where the grand cosmic order seemed to weep, where even the divine heart felt the pangs of a creation lost to its own making. Yet amidst this profound desolation, a single flame flickered, resolute and pure. One man, Noah, walked a different path, his spirit unyielding, his gaze fixed on an unseen horizon. He was not spared the world's shadow, but he chose not to become part of it. His integrity was a defiant act, a testament to the power of inner resolve when all around crumbled. He found favor in the eyes of the eternal, not through perfect sanctity, but through an unwavering commitment to an ancient way of living, a way rooted in principle, obedience, and an audacious trust in a wisdom beyond his own comprehension. He stood as a silent beacon, radiating hope in a generation steeped in its own self-destruction. Then, from the cosmic silence, a pronouncement descended upon Noah, not of comfort, but of consequence. The very fabric of the world, woven with human folly, was to be unmade. Yet within this chilling revelation of divine judgment lay an extraordinary decree, a mission of unprecedented scale, a call to build a vessel that would defy the coming annihilation. It was a project that scorned conventional wisdom, an endeavor demanding not just skill but an unwavering, almost audacious faith and absolute dedication to an unseen future. This was no ordinary construction. The instructions were precise, etched with divine care, a sacred geometry for survival. The ark, a symbol of ultimate refuge, was to be crafted from gopher wood, a material chosen for its enduring strength, mirroring the spiritual resilience required. Its dimensions were monumental, vast beyond human scale, yet every cubit, every plank spoke of a meticulously planned foresight. 3 decks, a roof, a side door-each element, designed not merely for physical containment, but for the sacred preservation of life itself, a microcosm of creation destined to endure. And then the command to coat the ark with pitch, inside and out. This act was more than structural. It was deeply symbolic. The pitch sealed the vessel against the encroaching deluge, but it also represented the necessary sealing of the soul against the corrupting influences of the world. To be pitched inside and out is to be protected from both the external storms and the internal fissures, fortified against the world's decay and one's own wavering spirit. It was a call to absolute integrity, to fortify the inner citadel of the self against the forces of dissolution. The world outside knew no reign of such magnitude. It scoffed, it mocked, it went about its fleeting pleasures. But Noah, moved by a holy fear, by an unshakable conviction, began the arduous work. Each day was a silent declaration of his faith. Each plank hammered a defiant rebuttal to the cynics. Each measurement checked a profound act of trust in the unseen. He was a preacher of righteousness, not merely through words, but through the very edifice he painstakingly raised. His life became a living sermon, a testament to the transformative power of unwavering commitment, a Stoic discipline in action, a Christian obedience in endurance. The building process was an odyssey of endurance, stretching across decades, demanding not only physical labor but an extraordinary emotional fortitude. Imagine the weight of solitary conviction, the sting of ridicule, the gnawing doubt that whispers in the quiet hours. Yet Noah pressed on, each precise cut of cypress, each meticulous layer of pitch, a step in a sacred dance of obedience. The ark rose slowly, majestically, a monument to faith, a visible testimony to one man's fidelity in a world that had forgotten its God. It taught him the profound lesson that true strength is found, not in popular acclaim, but in steadfast adherence to an inner compass divinely calibrated. Within the colossal structure, meticulous planning continued. The 3 decks were organized to accommodate not just his family, but the vast tapestry of life. Compartments for provisions, spaces for every creature. It was an exercise in foresight, resourcefulness, and harmonious coexistence. This internal order within the ark reflected the inner order that must be cultivated within the soul. A disciplined management of resources, emotions, and intentions, ensuring survival amidst chaos. The completion of the ark was not the end, but a new beginning, a threshold to an even more challenging journey. Now the ark stood silent and immense, awaiting its occupants. And then the next decree, the gathering of the animals. Not a chaotic scramble, but an orderly procession, 2 by 2, 7 pairs of the clean, 1 of the unclean. It was a true miracle, a divine orchestration that transcended natural enmity, guiding each creature by an unseen hand towards the singular refuge. This gathering was a vivid tableau of the interconnectedness of all life, a profound lesson in stewardship and the harmony that can be achieved when all elements align with a higher purpose. The logistics within the ark were immense. Every edible plant and grain had to be gathered, every drop of water stored for a journey of unknown duration. This monumental provisioning was a powerful lesson in foresight, sacrifice, and the careful stewardship of resources. It speaks to the Stoic virtue of practical wisdom and the Christian principle of faithful management of what has been entrusted to us. Inside the ark, amidst the various species, Noah and his family established routines of feeding, cleaning, and carrying daily discipline, a constant act of service that mirrored their commitment to the divine plan. It was here, in this confined living vessel, that the true nature of their mission unfolded, not merely to survive, but to preserve, to nurture, to bear witness to the sacredness of every living thing. Then came the moment of ultimate commitment. As the last creatures found their designated places, a silence fell heavy with anticipation. Noah's family, after decades of preparation, performed their final checks. The world held its breath. And then the deluge, not a gentle rain but a cosmic unraveling. The fountains of the great deep breaking forth, the windows of heaven opening. Water surged from above and burst from below, a visceral demonstration of divine power. A return to the primeval watery state, a humbling reminder of the fragility of existence. Inside the ark, the 8 souls watched as their familiar world vanished beneath the relentless waters. The Lord himself, with an act of profound finality, shut the door, sealing their fate, and indeed the fate of all humanity. The incessant roar of the rain, the violent rocking of the vessel, became the new rhythm of their lives. It was a period of intense confinement, a profound isolation from all they had ever known. Psychological challenges must have been immense, the weight of being the sole human survivors, the constant reminder of the destruction outside, the sheer unimaginable loss. But within that confinement, a rigorous routine was maintained, feeding the animals, cleaning the compartments, managing the dwindling provisions. These were not mundane tasks but sacred duties, acts of faith performed with absolute discipline. Each day became a testament to their unwavering trust in God's protection, a daily exercise in Stoic endurance and Christian hope. For 150 days the waters prevailed and the ark drifted, guided only by an unseen hand. It was a time of pure, unadulterated waiting, a crucible for the soul where faith was forged in the fires of uncertainty. Then a whisper from the heavens, God remembered Noah. This is the pivot, the turning point in every human saga. When all seems lost, when the night is deepest, the divine remembers. A wind stirred across the waters. The fountains of the deep were restrained. The windows of heaven closed. Slowly, imperceptibly, the waters began to recede. The ark, after months of aimless wandering, came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat, spiritual grounding, a moment of profound significance that marked the beginning of a new phase. Yet patience remained paramount. It was not an immediate release. Months passed as the waters gradually decreased, the first sighting of mountaintops, then the methodical sending of the raven and the dove, each a careful, deliberate act of discernment, a probing of the new reality. The raven's flight and return spoke of continued desolation. The dove's initial failure to find rest confirmed the lingering chaos. But Noah persisted with prudent patience, sending the dove again. And then the olive leaf, a simple green tendril, yet a profound symbol of life reborn, of hope unfurling, of a divine promise fulfilled. The olive, resilient and long-lived, perfectly represented the restoration underway. Still Noah waited, guided not by eagerness but by divine instruction. The dry ground was visible, but the command to leave had not yet come. This final test of patience, of absolute obedience, even after the storm had passed, refined their resolve. And then the long-awaited word, "Go out of the ark." It was a command not just to exit but to abound, to be fruitful, to multiply upon the newly cleansed earth. Stepping onto the dry earth must have been a revelation, a second creation unfolding before their eyes. The world, scarred but renewed, breathed fresh air. And Noah's first act upon touching solid ground was not to claim dominion or seek comfort, but to build an altar to the Lord. It was an act of profound gratitude, a burnt offering from every clean animal, a recognition that salvation, preservation, and new life came solely from the divine. This act of worship was the foundation of the new humanity, an acknowledgement of utter dependence and fervent thanks. In response to Noah's offering, an eternal covenant was forged. The divine heart, once pained by human wickedness, made an unbreakable promise. Never again would the earth be destroyed by flood. While the earth remained, the constancy of seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, day and night would endure. This was not merely a natural law, but a divine decree, a promise of stability and predictability, ensuring humanity's capacity to plan, to build, to flourish. The pinnacle of this new covenant was the rainbow, a natural phenomenon transformed into a transcendent symbol, its vibrant arc stretching across the sky. It was a visible sign not just for humanity, but for the divine itself, a reminder of the everlasting promise, a bridge between heaven and earth. The rainbow, appearing after the storm, became the ultimate emblem of grace following judgment, of peace after tribulation, of hope shining brightest when the darkness has just begun to recede. It spoke of God's common grace extended to all creation, an unconditional declaration of mercy that foreshadowed a greater salvation yet to come. The world Noah encountered was vastly different. The scars of the flood remained, a stark reminder of humanity's past folly. But with the rainbow came new responsibilities, a divine mandate for a new civilization built on reverence for life, justice, and stewardship. The sanctity of human life, dietary laws, authority over animals, these were the bedrock principles for rebuilding. Noah and his family carried not just the future of humanity, but the profound lessons of the pre-flood world and the harrowing journey through the deluge. Their mission now was to cultivate a civilization rooted in the fear of the Lord, guided by the principles of cosmic order. The story of Noah is more than an ancient narrative. It is a timeless parable for the human journey. It speaks to the courage required to stand against the tide of a corrupted world, to the unwavering faith demanded by seemingly impossible tasks, and to the profound discipline necessary to build an unshakable life. Each of us faces our own floods, moments of overwhelming chaos, personal crises, societal breakdown. Like Noah, we are called to cultivate an inner ark, a sanctuary of integrity and purpose, sealed with a pitch of steadfast virtue, protected from within and without. This ancient wisdom reminds us that true resilience is not found in avoiding storms, but in preparing for them with diligence, navigating them with faith, and emerging from them with profound gratitude. It is about understanding that even when the world around us succumbs to darkness, we can choose to be a beacon of light. It is about transforming our pain into purpose, our fears into faith, and our discipline into genuine freedom, the freedom that comes from living in alignment with an eternal order. The rainbow, a silent testament in the sky, still arches over our modern world, an everlasting reminder of divine faithfulness and the promise of new beginnings after every storm. It calls us to reflect. Where in your life are you building your ark? What unseen currents are testing your resolve? What ancient wisdom calls you to stand apart, to cultivate that inner steadfastness, and to embrace the transformative journey towards an unshakable life, rooted in something greater than yourself? Let this ancient echo inspire you to look within, to build with purpose, and to trust in the unwavering promises that transcend the fleeting storms of life. May your journey be one of enduring faith, profound discipline, and ultimately true freedom. Just as Noah built his ark against the rising tide of chaos, you too are called to fortify your inner world against the floods of modern anxiety and distraction. To cultivate that unwavering faith and disciplined resilience, we have curated essential guides for your journey, for a powerful and rational foundation of Christian belief that answers life's biggest questions. Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis offers unparalleled wisdom, and to cultivate the stoic discipline that Noah exemplified, forging resilience and inner peace in any storm explored. The Daily Stoic and the Timeless Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. These transformative resources are not just books, they are blueprints for building your own arc of purpose and peace. Do not just survive in this world, thrive. Click the links in the description below to begin your transformation today.